Today, on The Power of Framing, we'll kickstart the week with a short story to frame a new virtue and gain a renewed focus. Are you ready? Let's step into the vault. How do you endure and hold fast to confident hope when there's no way out of the storm but through? Let me tell you a short story as we frame endurance this week. One of the most formative professional experiences of team endurance took place while serving as a U.S. Marine Corps infantry company commander during extreme cold weather training at the Mountain Warfare Training Center in Bridgeport, California. My unit, composed of over 150 Marines and sailors, became stranded during a sudden blizzard and avalanche while conducting high-altitude operations at elevations exceeding 10,000 feet. The storm brought sustained whiteout conditions, wind gusts of over 110 miles an hour, and temperatures plunging to minus 20 degrees Fahrenheit. Over the course of nearly 72 hours, we endured complete isolation with no possibility of military or civilian evacuation. What unfolded was the most demanding non-combat experience of my military career, one that really challenged our minds, bodies, and spirits, individually, and absolutely it challenged us collectively. There's plenty of research showing how effective teams must display shared goals, role clarity, adaptive communication, mutual trust, and cohesion to perform under pressure. Our team's performance during these life-threatening conditions reflected many of those key characteristics. Despite the severity of the situation, each fire team, squad, and platoon operated with unity and resolve. Subordinate leaders stepped into their roles with confidence, improvising within the boundaries of their training and adhering to our rehearsed contingency plans. The cohesion forged through preparation and mutual respect made the difference between coordinated endurance and potential collapse. As the commander, I found myself confronted with the need for humble, collaborative leadership, an approach grounded not in posturing, but in shared responsibility and ethical care for the individuals in my team and their survival and morale. I knew I couldn't pretend to control the weather or every variable on the mountain, but I could model transparency, steadiness, and encouragement. I could model some endurance. It was in deferring to our mountain leader and my enlisted leader's expertise, welcoming feedback from junior officers, and communicating clearly despite our collective fatigue that trust remained intact. Most of all, I learned that I had to actually be present, physically. And yes, of course, mentally and spiritually as well. But physically, especially in the times when the sun went down, and I knew many others would be fighting complacency or the urge to sleep when it wasn't their turn to sleep. This urge is dangerous in these conditions, especially when they should be boiling water for hydration, maybe for their team, or shoveling their track plan, or tending to their bivouacs so that they don't suffer under the weight of a collapsed snow buildup. It was in these moments I dug my deepest to embrace the violent weather and walk around, sharing a smile, sharing my entrenching tool, and sharing some good old-fashioned hard work to help dig out my Marines' positions. The concept of desirable difficulty in learning, authored by the Bjorks, and it's really masterful. It speaks directly to the kind of training we undertook. Though it was unplanned, our experience mirrored the framework of desirable difficulties through intentionally challenging environments that are designed to foster long-term learning and adaptability. We knew on the mountain what to do and had the capacity to do it, but we all had to show up and perform at our best and perform together. In high-risk professions such as military operations, medical teams, emergency responders, and on, replicating stressors is proven in research to help train and inoculate teams against the paralysis of uncertainty and the unknown. This experience taught our unit that excellence under pressure must be developed under conditions that allow mistakes to surface before they cost lives, but those conditions also need to have some inherent risk to them and maybe even be life-threatening. The prolonged suffering tested not just our physical conditioning, but our capacity for ethical action, communication, and calm amid the chaos. It taught us an unforgettable lesson in endurance. From a Christian perspective, suffering can be both refining and redemptive. Romans 5:3-4 teaches us that we rejoice in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope. I saw this unfold firsthand as our Marines became stronger, more bonded, and more capable of empathizing with one another. While many leadership models prioritize competence and efficiency, Scripture reminds us that humility, endurance, and unity in suffering are markers of true leadership and a healthy community. From this experience, my trademark guiding principles, victory through hurt, humility, identity, resilience, teamwork, they were born. This became more than a slogan. It was a mental and spiritual anchor, a cue that recalled the hurt we endured together and reframed it as formative. Each element is intentionally sequenced. Humility must come first, and always, allowing us to acknowledge dependence on others and God. Identity gives purpose, reminding us of who we are, whose we are, and why we serve and sacrifice. Resilience sustains when physical and emotional reserves run low. And teamwork, built on trust, reminds us that collective strength of resolve often determines the outcome much more effectively than individual will to fight. This model, while not born in a classroom or a case study, has since shaped my personal coaching philosophy and leadership framework. This experience remains a defining moment in my leadership journey. It demonstrates how extreme hardship, when met with humility, identity, resilience, and teamwork, can catalyze extraordinary growth. Reflecting through both practical experience and research, effective teams need more than technical expertise. They require shared values, virtuous leadership, and environments that challenge and build adaptive capacity under pressure. So victory through hurt. It was born during that 72 hours on the mountain. It endures as a leadership ethos rooted in both empirical insight and principles of shared suffering, strength, and service. It's a call to all who find themselves isolated and pressed in from all sides. It's a call to endure in faith, hope, and love. A call to embrace the inevitable hurt in life and press through it and reframe it in hurt. So, I'm going to ask this again as I close this out, because I believe we all need to ask this and actually answer it honestly. How do you endure and hold fast to confident hope when there's no way out of the storm but through? I'll see you on Wednesday. Thanks for tuning into this episode of The Power of Framing. Follow Foundational Coaching on your favorite social media platform, where I'll meet you on Wednesday and you can ask me anything you want. I'm honored to be a part of your story today, and I'm proud of your growth, my friend. I can't wait for our next time together, exploring the vault.